Russell T Davies revived Doctor Who from the dead back in 2005. The series had been off air for 16 years, save for the Paul McGann TV movie, which failed to revive the series in the way that Russell did. He introduced audiences to a rich world with complex storytelling, diverse characters, and a whole wealth of heart and emotion. The RTD era gave us the 9th and 10th Doctors, who are arguably two of the greatest. He was also responsible for some near-perfect seasons, with season 4 featuring Donna Noble as the absolute peak of his time in the show. 12 years after he stepped down as showrunner, he's back in charge, and we cannot wait to see what he's got in store. With his close connection to Doctor Who and the amazing backlog of characters he created, who do fans want to see brought back? Well, we're about to find out. Once again, I am Ellie with Who Culture, and this is 10 characters who should return for Russell T Davies' new series. Number 10. CLYDE and RANI. Clyde Langer and Rani Chandra were part of the Bannerman Road gang, who helped Sarah Jane Smith take on lesser alien threats. Sarah Jane had a positive influence on the group, particularly Rani. She went on to become a journalist and travelled the world telling the most important stories and toppling corrupt governments. Clyde had a troubled family history, but overcame that with the help of his friends and grew into a strong, capable young man. After leaving Bannerman Road, he went on to become a successful comic book writer, with movies of his comics in production. Clyde and Rani were always very close in the Bannerman Road gang. There was even suggestion that they might have been close romantically, though this was never confirmed or denied. So it would be interesting to see where they're at as adults. After Sarah Jane's memorial service, Clyde, Rani and Luke followed up Sarah Jane's wishes for them to close down the house. So they have had a brief reunion lately, proving they remained close, trusted friends. Fingers crossed this means we'll see them again soon. Number 9. Midshipman Alonso Frame. Midshipman Alonso Frame was an absolute hero. In Voyage of the Damned, he saved the day by preventing the spaceship Titanic from crashing into Earth. After realizing the captain was a traitor who intended to destroy the ship and kill everyone on board, Alonso confronted him but was shot. After the ship sailed into a meteor shower, the captain was killed and Alonso was left badly injured, but fought on and kept following the Doctor's orders. His strong, determined nature saved the Earth and earned the Doctor's favour. After the disaster, Alonso was left to deal with the aftermath and wasn't seen again until the 10th Doctor was dying. As 10 made his farewell tour to say goodbye to old friends, he watched on as he set Alonso up with Captain Jack. Alonso and Jack shared a few drinks and a night together, which ended very badly when they were attacked by an alien called Mother Nothing. This adventure is explored in the audio drama One Enchanted Evening. During the attack, Alonso is mistaken for a guard and has to take charge of the situation. Unfortunately, Jack and Alonso were separated during the chaos. We need to see Alonso again. He's the tough action hero we all want to see more of. Number 8. Jenny. Jenny was the Doctor's daughter. She was born after the Doctor touched a machine that used his DNA to create her during the war on Messaline. Soldiers were made using these machines and were born as adults ready for war. Jenny proved to be a great character with superhuman athleticism, high intellect and a strong sense of adventure. The Doctor's daughter asked if she could travel with the Doctor and he was more than happy with the idea. However, when they reached the source, which was the cause of the war between the humans and the Hath, everything went very wrong. The Doctor demanded that the war end and General Cobb tried to shoot him. Jenny jumped in the way and took the bullet herself. It was a tragic moment that shook the Doctor, and he left her behind, believing her to be dead. By some miracle, Jenny returned to life and stole a shuttle. She flies off into the universe to have adventures across the stars. There is a Big Finish audio series following Jenny's adventures after escaping Messaline, but to see her return in live action would be a welcome treat. Number 7. Mia and Yuri. Mia and Yuri are the perfect candidates to make a comeback. Their return could be used for dramatic effect, and it would be interesting to see how they were affected by the Doctor. We last saw the couple after the 10th Doctor dropped them off on Earth after escaping Bowie Base 1, where they should have died. In these moments, the 10th Doctor had named himself the Time Lord Victorious and decided that the rules of time were his. Knowing very well that everybody was supposed to die on the base, he saved them and risked the course of history. While his intentions were good, his arrogance was unsettling. Captain Adelaide Brooke, whom he also saved, survived went on to commit suicide so that the timeline would progress as it should. We know that Mia and Yuri explained to the world what happened and told them about the virus in the water, but how were they affected personally? Could their encounter with the Doctor lead them to tell good stories about him, or did it turn them against him? Could they be out there in the future plotting against the dangerous man who played God with their lives? Those little people, as the Doctor called them, could prove formidable with the right kind of story. Number 6. Lady Christina de Souza. Lady Christina de Souza only appeared in one TV special. She's since made small comebacks in audio and comics, but that one live-action appearance certainly made an impact. An aristocrat cat burglar, she draws parallels with Lara Croft, and she was just a whole load of fun. The last time we saw Lady Christina in the main series, she took off in a flying bus, aided by the Doctor, and narrowly avoiding being arrested. Lady Christina is a character who deserves a comeback because although her story felt complete at the end of Planet of the Dead, she will always be welcomed by fans because she's just so cool and we want to know more about her. While she might not have been companion material on account of the stealing and questionable morals, she would be a great ally and someone we'd love to see turn up occasionally to lend the Doctor a hand. She could get involved in the more dodgy things that the Doctor wouldn't want to be a part of, or lend a hand in new, fresh ways that we haven't seen before. Who needs psychic paper when Lady Christina is already 5 steps ahead and has already broken it? Number 5. Luke Smith. Luke Smith is Sarah Jane's adoptive son. He began his life as the archetype created by the Bane in order to help them gain control of humanity through their bubble shock drink. After being saved from the Bane, Luke lived with Sarah Jane and learned how to live a normal human life. Luke met the Doctor and their friends when the Daleks and Davros tried to destroy reality itself in the Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Luke was later saved by the Doctor while crossing the road and not paying attention to the car that could have hit him. Eventually he left Bannerman Road and went to university in Oxford, but he stayed in contact with everyone. While he was there he met Sanjay. Sarah Jane pointed out that he was looking at him in that way and suggested that he should go and talk to him. Luke and Sanjay became very close and eventually married. What we don't know though is whether he told him of his secret history and about all the adventures he had while saving the world. It would be interesting to see the impact that would have on the relationship if the truth were to come out. Number 4. Dorothy McShane, or Ace. Ace was a classic companion alongside the 7th Doctor and became a firm fan favourite. She loved to blow things up and she was the first classic companion to become a blueprint for what modern companions should be. Russell brought back favourite companions Sarah Jane Smith and Jo Grant throughout his era. Sarah Jane first appeared in Doctor Who but went on to have her own series where the other aforementioned classic companions appeared too. Ace had been planned, but sadly never made it to the series because Liz Sladen passed away before her episode was made. Sophie Aldred has returned to the Whoniverse most recently in a trailer for the Season 26 Blu-ray collection. It featured her reprising her role as Ace, who's now in charge of a charitable Earth, where she works as a sort of intergalactic Greenpeace activist. Aldred also wrote a book, At Childhood's End, about the character. She remains a frequently recurring character in the Big Finish audios, and is still a popular fan favourite. Since Russell didn't get his chance to bring her back before, now seems like the perfect chance. Number 3. Gwen Cooper. Gwen Cooper is one of the greatest characters to come out of the Doctor Who extended universe. And as a lead character through all 4 seasons of Torchwood plus some Torchwood audio dramas, she deserves her live-action return. Gwen balances life as a professional badass wife and mum with skill. She is fiercely protective of those she loves and nobody would want to get on her bad side. Gwen went through a lot during her time at Torchwood and even met the Doctor during the Season 4 finale. It would be great to see her get more involved with the Doctor's adventures and hopefully make a return with the Torchwood gang in a new TV series. Gwen would even be a perfect candidate to be a new leader of Torchwood. It's been over 10 years since the final episode of Torchwood aired, and we deserve more. With the return of RTD and BBC 3 though, things are looking more and more likely, so fingers crossed. Number 2. WILF, SYLVIA and DONNA. Donna Noble is one of the most popular companions of all time, and her ending was one of the most traumatic. Her growth from a gossip-obsessed nobody to the most important woman in the universe had audiences rooting for her all along. We loved her and cared for her as she became the Doctor's closest friend and became a better person. Sadly, when the Doctor left, she could never remember him, or it would potentially kill her. We saw her get her happy ending from a distance, but now it feels like time for the Doctor to check in on her. There must be something they can do to make her able to remember by now. With a return from Donna, it wouldn't be right if Wilf and Sylvia didn't return too. It would be wonderful to see the Doctor meet Wilf and have a chance to talk. Wilf would have carried the guilt of killing the Doctor for a long time, so it would be great to finally see him get some closure and know he is forgiven. As for Sylvia, the Doctor made her aware of how she needed to change and be better, so it would be lovely to see how much she's grown too. Long story short, we need and deserve to see Donna and her family again. Number 1. Martha Jones. Martha Jones was a defining character in RTD's era. She appeared in the main Doctor Who series as a companion, and she made many returns after her departure, as well as crossing over into Torchwood. And now she's making her way into the audios with a series about how she survived the year that never was. Martha was a brilliantly written character, and her unrequited love for the Doctor is ultimately what drove her away from her role as companion. Her time as companion saw her reverse the companion role and found her consistently saving the Doctor rather than being saved by the Doctor. Despite all of this, it was sad that the Doctor took her for granted. It was an interesting dynamic to have the companion outshine the Doctor and prove that Martha was better off involved with Torchwood, where she fit in because of her kick-ass traits. If we see Martha return, and we better had, she would be better suited to cameos in Doctor Who. And if RTD gets his way with an MCU-style Doctor Who universe again, she would be better off leading a new Torchwood team, or better still, in her own spin-off. Either way, Martha Jones is a character we need to see return. And that concludes our list of 10 characters who should return in Russell T Davies' new series. If you can think of any other characters you'd like to see return, then comment them below and like and subscribe and tap that notification bell. I've been Ellie with Who Culture, and in the words of River Song herself, goodbye, sweeties.